session. Yeah.
We are live. Hooray. Why is it? How many of these have we done? And it's still a surprise when it works.
It's so true. It's so true. Oh my goodness, it's so true. Okay, so I don't
LJ,
Yay!
Where would we be without you? Too much fun.
I don't see us yet, but that's okay.
I can see us.
Because you went.
Emma's here as well. Yay! We've got your question later, Emma. It's on the list.
Yeah.
It's weird, isn't it? When I go and look on the videos, right? Sometimes I can see how many people are watching and sometimes I can't. Although, to be fair, I do know that the things that tell you how many people are watching are generally wrong. So probably shouldn't worry too much about that. Oh, here we go. Cool.
Okay. Cool, so I'm just going to open it up again so I can see the comments. And then we can dive right in.
Let's do it.
I had such a busy day today. Hey,
Did you? What happened?
Yeah, no, it's just that I ran from one. Why have I have my radio side on? No, that's not what I want. Yeah, I just after we signed off, I ran off. Where did I run after that? Oh, I ran to.
Did you have some agility?
Yeah, but before that, I was at the field training my dog, and then I had to run and make it to get you. And then when we signed off, I had to run and make it. No, I've got us to agility, and then had to run away there and come here. It's like one of those days, you know, when you run.
Yeah, backwards and forwards, and it never stops, does it?
Yeah. Cool. Okay. Hi, Carrie.
Hi.
Goody. Okay, so we have a topic today. We want to talk a bit about confidence building.
Indeedy. Oh, Carrie, could you give Winston a big kiss for me, please? I've worked with Carrie and Winston. Winston is like the best. He's such a cool dog. He recognizes my car, the sound of my car now. He gets really giddy. He's just lovely. I love him.
We have to love him. We have to love him for
that. Beautiful boxer. So confidence.
Yeah, let's talk about it. So I thought we could talk a little bit about why is it even important to have a confidence dog? Because somebody could
talking about it.
Yeah. Because I was thinking, what could confidence be mistaken for? Right? That was sort of where my thought went first. I mean, if you have a really confident dog, people could think the dog is forward or independent, right? Or and that might be, people might like it or might not like it, dog that's independent or even stubborn, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Sort of things,
Or you get this kind of the dog's really confident, it wants to be dominant, it's trying to be the boss, exactly. All that kind of stuff. Yeah. And none of that's right, really, is it?
And I think a good way to sort of dig into it a little bit is to think about what does it look like when a dog is not confident.
That's a really good point. Is this going to be a cue to, so I just had to flip my video, go on the whiteboard.
Yeah, let's do some brainstorming.
Let's do some brainstorming of what a confident dog looks like and what a less confident dog looks like.
I think it's actually much easier to just look at what it is not, right? When a dog is not confident, what will we see?
So
guys, you feel free to share your thoughts in the comments, hey? And so
confident dog down that side, what it looks like.
We can try that.
This size will do a not. Oops.
Yeah.
Confident.
So Shawnee put temp, body language. Yeah, we can
very good. Yeah.
So
oh look, you can actually see it now.
Yeah, we can see.
Okay, so temp. So temp's all to do with, you know, the body language and what the dog looks like.
Mm-hmm. And then another point is, so I just put down, well, temp could be on either side. So
Exactly.
Shawnee, what would you want to see? Here we go. Shawnee specified licking, yawning on the
Brilliant.
confidence.
So those would be your not confident
Cool.
things, wouldn't it? Exactly. So we've got licking.
Well, they're calming signals. They're not necessarily,
They are calming signals, but if
but
you
it's definitely, I would definitely put it on that side, not on
yeah,
the.
absolutely.
Yeah.
It's not going
Okay,
to be a dog that's feeling.
Berit says easily startled.
And that would be on your not confident side. Okay. Easily startled. So a little bit of a skittish dog.
Yeah.
Kind of like, "Woo," like that.
Barking.
Barking. Are we thinking that's on the not confident side as well?
I would put on a dog that is.
Yeah, I certainly would. We haven't got a lot of what a confident dog looks like, but we
I
can
think
see
that's
what
what
it
I
does look
expected.
like.
It's much easier to say what it
It
is
really
not.
is, isn't it? When you think about it.
And another one may be growling, hey?
Yeah. And lunging as well.
Lunging, snapping, all those things.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. Hiding.
Hiding. And also,
Hackles
it's kind of that body carriage as well, just like
Yeah.
how they're carrying themselves. So
Yeah.
that's slightly, maybe a little bit hunched. The way they're walking is a little bit jerky, those kind of things.
Yeah, absolutely. So and here, what is it? Piloerection, and they put all the hairs up in the neck,
Yeah.
trying to make themselves bigger, right? And
Exactly.
then
So what do we call that?
okay,
That's a hackles.
piloerection, the when they put the
Yeah, I was trying to think of the easy
hackles up.
hackles. Yeah.
And
Julia way.
yes, relaxing in a sitting position. Yeah, or just really confident dog, rolling onto back to exposed tummy and okay, can be either.
That can be, can't it? Because it could be an appeasement gesture.
Yeah.
A dog that's not feeling confident.
Yeah.
Or it could be a dog that's feeling, I'm okay,
Right.
I can show my soft underbelly. Okay,
Yeah.
so
Good one. Yeah. Oh, there's lots of good ones here. So Shawnee says not taking a treat.
Oh, nice. Brilliant. Not taking a treat. Yep.
Bodhi hangs back, rear legs outstretched as he stretches for hesitation. I would call that hesitation. That is what Bodhi says. I mean, LG says about Bodhi. Sort of the rear legs stay and put, and the forelegs go forward a little bit. You know, they're like staying stretched.
Yes, it's kind of that almost that stuckness, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like,
and then Mona's got some good things here. Confident, bright eyes, loose jaw. Yeah. Normal, whatever is normal for your dog. Normal ear carriage, normal tail carriage. So I know with my dogs, when they get high, either because they're startled or excited or so whatever, their tail goes really high up.
Yeah,
something like really curls up over top. Whereas,
Tash doesn't have much of a
but I mean,
tail.
it's different. It depends each breed, you know, and so on. So we can't be too specific. So we need to know what our dog's normal is like, you know.
So put normal.
Yeah. Okay. Very good. Very good. All right. So this is great. This is great. This is a lot of good stuff here.
And you tend to have, with a dog that's feeling confident, you have quite a nice sort of flowy, smooth motion as well, don't you?
Yeah. Smooth and smooth.
Yeah, smooth and loose. Thank you. That's a great one.
That's really good. Yeah, I like it.
Oh, I'll tell you another one. Just thinking about motion. This is where my brain went. I start thinking poo.
Yeah.
You've got a dog that's not feeling confident. You quite often get a bit of diarrhea, don't you?
Oh, there we go. Yes,
Yeah.
yes. And sometimes a lot of Oh, yeah, well, let's not go that way, you know.
And then
Yeah,
here we've got more of a firm, normal stool.
yeah.
Gosh, my writing's getting worse and worse. It's worse than when I was teaching. Anybody else come up with anything in the chat?
No,
Oh,
no.
another one for a not confident dog
Uh-huh.
is drooling.
Oh, yeah. Get that a lot in the car.
Exactly. Or when they're out and about and there's lots of different, scents of other dogs and that kind of thing, they
Yeah, yeah.
get a bit drooly.
Great. So, I mean, it might not be a complete list, but that's not important.
Well, it's
But
not bad.
but look at how much we have on the non-confident
I
side
know.
and how many of these behaviors are what what you might find under the label of reactive.
Exactly. So
No?
what's that tell us?
Well, that shows us how important it is
It really
to build
does, doesn't it?
confidence, right, for our dogs. Yeah.
Mm.
So,
And it's telling us that actually one of the big reasons that our dogs are reactive is because of a lack of confidence, which gives
yeah.
us a brilliant tool to say if we can build confidence in these dogs, there we are.
Yeah. So we have, I just want to mention them. You don't have to get up
Please.
again, but we have whining,
Fine, it's fine.
and pacing back and forth
I
can
can
be
put
a
it on
sign of.
sitting.
Oh,
No
good. Oh, good.
problem. I'm just squeezing it in. Whining,
Great. Super.
pacing.
You guys are on
I mean, there's
fire.
other stuff too, isn't there? There's loads
Yeah,
and loads
there's
of
lots
different
of
ones. This is
Okay,
really cool.
so then now the next question is how can we build confidence? If we know that, our dog is showing these behaviors, we know they're not confident, we want to help them with their reactivity. So a big step is, or a big part of that would be confidence building. So now what can we do?
Well, I like to
Hang on a minute. You know what? Do you want
Go
to
on.
take a picture of your whiteboard? Because we might lose this.
Are you saying I'm going to get rid of it?
I think we might need to.
We might well. Let's have a little look, see what I can
And
do.
Shawnee says play games. Yeah, that's a good
Love
one.
it.
Mm.
Exactly. And it's about being very specific about which games you play and how you play them to really maximize. Because I always think, coming across dogs that aren't particularly confident is really common. And I think it's probably more common than we often think. So, and I think I mentioned this last time is, well, why are our dogs not necessarily very confident? And it's just a survival strategy, having that defensiveness and assuming that things are bad rather than good is going to keep you alive a little bit longer. So it kind of makes sense from a dog's point of view. So we're kind of working against that a little bit. So, and if you think about it, is when the dog comes across something they're not sure of. So the situation is ambiguous. So I see another dog. I don't know if this dog is going to be good or bad. I hear something I've never heard before. So there's something, I walk on something that's not particularly stable. All those kind of things, our dogs are going, oh my gosh, it's new, I don't understand it, therefore it is bad. So our job then is to change that way of thinking and give them loads of experience that says, actually, so a situation that's a bit weird, you're not really sure of, actually, you get a great outcome, not a bad one. And that's kind of what it's all about.
So if I might jump in there, I think this is a total gem. I love this reminder that I want to figure out. Yeah. So Mona says life pessimist versus life optimist. Yes, absolutely.
Exactly.
But the way you say that, point out that this pessimistic outlook initially is like it keeps you alive. It's like it's a survival strategy. And because far too often, it's a good reminder for us because far too often we expect so much from our dogs. Remember how in the reboot class last week, somebody said how surprising it is that so many of our dogs are not reactive,
I
considering
know.
how crazy the world around them is.
We've
right?
squished these poor creatures
Yeah.
into our mad human world.
Yeah. So normalizing that, for ourselves, that actually there's nothing wrong with our dogs. They're following their natural instinct. It's our job to help them find their positive outlook, find them that optimism again, right? And thinking about ways that we can do that. That is really what the confidence building is all about then.
Exactly.
Yeah,
It
I mean,
really
we've got
is.
some good suggestions in
Some really good suggestions here. I love
But
it.
before we go there, I think the very first one, I think that's where you were heading, well, I think, is that our dogs get exposed
To stuff.
to stuff.
Yeah,
Right.
loads and loads of stuff.
And if we want to help them be more confident, then the first step is to make sure that we stop that exposing them to things that trigger them. Stop
Exactly.
exposing them to stuff that puts them over threshold. So they stop rehearsing any of these signs that they are not confident, any of these like reactive behaviors, right? First thing is we have to make them feel safe.
Yeah, once they've gone over threshold, it's not a positive experience anymore. And we have to keep these experiences super positive.
Yeah. So if you think about it, survival strategy, the world is hostile. So every time, something triggers the dog, that negative outlook is confirmed. The dog just doesn't, the world is not a safe place. And we want them to believe that the world is safe.
Yeah.
Right? If they don't feel safe, then they can't overcome anything. So that's number one. Don't expose your dogs to the triggers. And that might also mean that we have to be really careful with so-called socialization.
Absolutely. We'll talk a lot more about that another time. There's kind of the other issue, of course, you've got is that a lot of, the initial building blocks for this happen during those fear periods, when puppies are sort of teeny weeny before we've even got them. That's a crucial time. You've got another crucial time during adolescence. So say firstly, if you've got a puppy, you've missed some of that key time. That's down to the breeder or whoever they've been with. Which is why if you get a puppy, being really careful about, where you get them from and how they're kept is actually going to make a big, big difference. You could have a look on the festival if, this is something you're interested in. Have a look at Rebecca Walters' talk on there, because she talks all about how breeders can make sure we've got much better balanced dogs. I can't remember who said it. I remember someone quoting, and I'm not sure I 100% agree, but they got a blooming good point that if breeders all got their act together, most of us behaviorists would be out of a job. The other thing is, of course, if you've got rescue dogs, and I hear it an awful lot where people worry that because they've got a rescue, they've been past even adolescence, is it too late? And the answer is probably not. There are some dogs that have, severe PTSD for whom there are always going to be certain issues, but there's definitely stuff that you can do. And my dogs are great examples of that, of what you can do with a rescue dog.
Even if let's have a look at the things that we can do. So number one was removal of triggers and keeping them way below threshold. Maybe we want to keep that. Do you want to put some of this on the whiteboard?
Yeah, I can do that. Just tilt that back up again. So,
and then LG mentioned ACE-free work. Absolutely, that's a total gem. So those of you who don't know about ACE-free work, hop in the festival and watch the interview with Janet Finlay. She's then you can learn more about what it is and how great it is for reactive dog.
So we've removed triggers. Let me just tilt that up a little bit more. and we've kept them below threshold for number 1. What's number 2, Barbara?
Yeah, ACE free work.
ACE. Okay. So ACE free work, it's a very specific type of free work. And basically, all it's about is allowing our dogs to become exposed to a variety of different textures, objects, smells, that kind of thing, and getting this great outcome in the form of food, but allowing them to do it in their own time. So they're never forced to look at anything, they're never forced to interact with anything, they're just allowed to explore. And it's brilliant for building that kind of confidence. But we'll talk about a couple of games that we can do that will help
that are
along.
similar. Yeah. So
yeah.
and you have a great one, hey? Your cardboard
Yes.
chaos. You want to talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, cardboard chaos. Cardboard chaos is super cool. What I particularly like about it is that you use your recycling, so you don't have to buy anything. So it's free, hooray! And that's got so many different advantages, because what you're going to do is you get various cardboard boxes, bits of packing materials. I wouldn't use like those horrible little, what do you call them, the little peanutty things that they pack stuff in, but things like the scrunchy paper, you can use bubble wrap, that kind of thing. And what you're going to do is set this up, set various different cardboard boxes and bits of packing, however you like, really. And you can place pieces of food in amongst the boxes and on the different materials. So your dog gets to stand on different textures, maybe stand on a box that isn't quite stable. They might go under something, they might go into the box where it's dark. They might knock the box with their body so it moves or it makes a noise. So there's a lot going on for the dog, but they're getting a really positive outcome because they're getting the food. So they're thinking, actually, all these weird things are happening, but I'm getting something great out of it, which means it's less scary. Now, the key with it is to start the activity where your dog is at. So if you've got a dog that isn't very confident at all, so I'll give the example with Hattie, one of my dogs. When we started doing this with her, there was one cardboard box, that was it. That was at one side of the room. Hattie and the treats were at the other side of the room, and that's where she needed to start. Now she's perfectly happy exploring anything, and every now and again she'll go, oh, that's a bit weird, but she'll then carry on. And what you don't want, which is interesting, and this goes back to what we were saying about what confidence looks like and what it doesn't look like. You don't want a dog that goes in there like a bull in a china shop, because those kind of dogs are, I really, really want the food, but this is a bit scary, quickly run in, grab, run out again. That's not a confident dog. A confident dog is the dog that can have a good old mooch around and a snuffle around and is really engaging with the whole thing, rather than that just, sometimes it's like that bluster, isn't it? It's kind of covering up that worry, but it's a great game to play, and it's quite tiring for your dogs as well. It's lovely enrichment. That's just one example that I really, really enjoy.
Yeah, so we have a couple of comments around that in the.
Oh, yes.
So Marion shared that her dog Marcy loves doing that.
Yay!
And Shoni says, nice idea, thanks for that. And then Arlene says, how will I do it with my dog being afraid of people?
Okay.
Building confidence. Or is it ACE free work? What? Yeah.
I would just do exactly the same stuff. I would start with a cardboard chaos or an ACE free work exactly the same as you would from anything else. As long as your dog's cool with you. I have worked with dogs that are still worried about their owners. And for that, I might set up, I probably wouldn't do cardboard chaos so much. I'd probably set up more of an ACE free work with things that aren't going to move so much. and then I'd move away and, go into another room or watch through a window. Give them space. I'd give them a whole heap of space just to do it in their own time. Yeah, the other thing that you might try is putting in, items of clothing, so things that smell of different people. But again, think about what we said for this one, number one, paramount, keeping them below threshold. So you're always keeping an eye. How are they doing with that? Are they cool with that?
Yeah. So when a dog is afraid of people, there might be different layers there. So is it all people? Is it specific subgroup of people? So figuring that out, doing a bit of journaling will help you with this. Is it people in a particular setting, etc.? And then, as Julia said, you definitely don't want to start trying to introduce them to people. You want to build confidence for that dog first. You want to keep them really, really safe and not take them into the situations where they are scared.
Yeah. And when it comes to the people-y thing, the actual introducing to people, that's got to be done when they're ready at their pace, with their choice.
Way down the line. Exactly. Yeah. Okay. Now, we have another couple of things in the chat. Sand work. So enriching, so any kind of enriching activity. So your cardboard game that you showed is like you can reuse your trash and that, and a lot of you will have done that with your puppies. So why do we stop? Why don't we keep going as our dogs get older, or if you get an older dog to do these things? I think we mentioned before in combo with noise reactivity. You can have a box full of things that make clanky noises. And again, you build it up gradually, but this can be a great confidence builder for your dog because they are actually causing the noises.
Yeah.
But always watching. And when we looked at what does it look like, confidence versus non-confidence, and Shawnee brought up temp, taking the temperature of our dogs, looking at their body language, that's a great opportunity when they are involved in free work of any kind, when they're doing cardboard chaos, when they are engaging with a sound box or a noise box, we can watch what they're doing.
I would even go so far as to say is video them.
Yeah.
And then you can watch it back
and again.
You pick up so much, don't you?
Yeah. And scent work. So, just said like 30 seconds ago, and then I got confused myself again. So scent work is a super one, absolutely. And again, you can do it. You can take a class. You can, for some dogs that are a little bit wary around other dogs, taking them to a scent work class is a really great opportunity. Every dog is at a different point. So these are all just ideas. This is not to say that, every dog can go to a class, but some of you might have struggled. You walk your dog in the park, but be able to take them to a scent work class.
Shawnee just said trick classes. We're coming on to tricks in a minute. Yes. You're absolutely right.
Awesome. Yeah,
I would just say with any of these classes, don't worry if you think your dog isn't going to be any good at it, because it really doesn't matter. I took Hattie to scent work. She was awful. I don't know if it's her that was awful or me. Probably a bit of both. But she loved it. She had a great time. We had a really lovely time. We weren't very good at it. But it still had the desired effect in terms of building the confidence. We're never going to win any rosettes, but we did have a lovely time and built loads of confidence. So too much fun.
I still have to have a conversation with you about this experience, because it's just impossible that there's a dog that's not good at something. I need to hear the full story of this, but not tonight.
Yeah, so it was a long time ago, and it's not something that I'm an expert in. So it'd be really useful to see your insights.
Yeah. So anyway, so teaching tricks is a super idea, and you may do this in a trick class, or you may just do it at home. I mean, I would probably start with simple tricks at home, because your dog will be more confident, more willing to offer behaviors, less distracted, if you start in a in a safe, distraction-free, boring environment where you and your rewards are the most exciting thing, right?
And do
It
you know
makes it
what
so
the other
much easier.
great thing about starting with your tricks at home is it makes them feel like, oh, I can do this, and I can do this, and I know I'm safe.
Mm,
It really gives them that feeling of safety, doesn't it? And we had one of our rebooters actually had this experience, didn't she? It wasn't a trick as such, it was a pattern game that we'd been doing.
mm,
She'd been practicing loads at home, so it became like a really like, I know what to do next.
yes.
And then with a very unconfident dog, took it out to a field where he was like all a bit giddy. She started playing the game and he's like, oh, hang on, I know this one.
Yes.
And
Yes.
it just made him go a little bit, oh, I could do this. And
Yes.
that's kind of the idea, isn't it, really?
Yeah. And
Mm.
I've used simple tricks with my youngster to build confidence when we're out on a walk in an environment that initially he found really challenging, with tractors mowing the grass, cyclists, runners, occasional other dog. It's not like a dog park, so there's not lots of other dogs, but we see other dogs. And sometimes with some dogs, that makes it even harder because anything that's unusual and new, anything that's different, right, is hard for a dog that lacks confidence. So we would do things like hand targets or wave a paw, right? Spins, what is it, middle, between your leg, any of these little games. You play them a lot at home, so the dog knows them really well, is super confident, and then you can start taking it on the road. But for those of you, who think, oh God, my dog, I can't take them anywhere, don't worry about that. When we want to build confidence, it's totally okay to stay at home, not take the dog anyway for days, weeks even, and just do these activities at home and make the dog feel really, really safe. Their world may be small for a while, but it's a lovely world where they feel safe. And then from that place of confidence, we can then step out into more difficult locations. And actually, those of you, if you want to know how to prepare a simple behavior or a trick that you start at home and get your dog to be able to do it in more challenging situations, you can go to last week's live. The recording is here or on the YouTube page. You can see it and rewatch it, because there we talk exactly through the layers of generalizing, starting at home and then introducing more and more distractions.
Yeah. And with everything, it's that home, that's the key. And
Yes,
that's the
always.
bit where people go wrong because they just want to be out with the thing, the hard thing, like facing it. But actually, if you haven't got that foundation, that home bit there, it's not
Yeah.
going to work.
Yeah.
That's the key.
And I mean, honestly, it's so easy to get that wrong because we all get dogs. And the thing that we all take for granted initially when we think about getting a dog is to take that dog for walks. Ne? But we can't take that for granted. We have to build that ability to take the dog for walks.
So, shall we just very quickly talk about the other end of the lead?
Oh, that's a good idea.
The
Yes.
human end of the lead, because actually, if we want our dogs to be confident, they're not going to be very confident if they know that we're not very confident. And they pick up, don't they? They do pick up on stuff really, really easily. But it's not as easy as all that, just to flick a switch and be confident, is it? All of a sudden. So we need to think of how we can help you. And I think when you've got a reactive dog and you've been, you've gone through all those emotions, you felt judged, you felt embarrassed, you felt all those other things. It's not a surprise actually that your confidence does take a massive tumble, really, with a dog. So it's a huge part of it. So have you got any thoughts, any advice that you would give of where a person should start if they're feeling not very confident?
Number one, if you start playing at home and get results at home and start seeing your dog do things, watch them, learn their body language, teach an easy peasy trick that builds relationship. You're more confident about doing things with your dog just simply from working at home, right? If we out and we practice where the dog is pulling and lunging and losing their wits, like wah, 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 and everything. That was very polite. I didn't say the other word, losing their. Anyway, so
Proud of you, Barbara.
yeah. So so that is step one, setting yourself and your dog up for success. So keep it easy, stay, play at home first. That would be my first step.
Marion's made a great point here. You need to layer your training to build confidence as a person. You feel more confident as your dog learns each step.
Yeah,
That's
exactly
it. You see success, don't you? And it's like,
I love that. That's so true,
that's
Maya.
really nice.
Yeah. Yeah.
Really cool.
And
The other
then
thing I was thinking, actually,
Hmm?
giving yourself permission to take a reset for you and your dog. And knowing that actually that's okay,
Mm, mm.
so that you can take a step back.
Yeah. And if you wonder what we mean by reset, those of you, if you haven't done the reset challenge that we did just after the festival, all of this is still available here in the group. So you can go and watch.
You've got the guides, it's in there, isn't it?
Yeah. So you can find all the
page.
tips about how to do a proper reset.
I just the other thing I just wanted to, because there's another great example, and I wanted to give talk about an example that happened yesterday with a absolutely wonderful client of mine who is making so many amazing strides with her dog. And we decided we were going to go for a little wander, and we tried to keep below threshold. We were doing lots of lovely things. We'd done lots of work before at home, so this was kind of like a moving on thing. We went for a little walk, like moving on, and she didn't move away and get enough space. This dog is triggered by cars and cats and things like that. Anyway, so there was a car going past. He was doing brilliantly. He'd done everything. We kept him below threshold. It was perfect. And there was one where she just made a mistake, and he didn't have a massive reaction. He just went woof woof, and that was it. And immediately she's like, "Oh, that's it. He's just going to be reacting to everything now. It's all gone wrong. It's all gone really horribly wrong." And it was like she'd forgotten all the brilliant stuff that had led up to that. It's like, yeah, okay, that happened. We didn't want that to happen. Yes, we could have avoided that happening. But this is where we are. This happened. And she'd totally forgotten about the amazing successes that she'd had along the way. And I think we all do that. And it's a natural thing, isn't it? It's called a negative bias. And it's that we are far more likely to remember the bad stuff than remember the good stuff. So maybe, I was going to say keep a diary, but you can probably make it simpler. Little tick sheet, like that was a good thing, a good thing, a good thing, a bad thing, a good thing, a good thing, a good thing. So you can just see and just be more aware of the good stuff that's going on as well, rather than just focusing on the bad. Because otherwise it's just, too depressing.
Yeah, I mean, like in the reboot course, we have all these games that you can play with yourself, right? Like you can do a bingo, either one.
Really cool.
So you win either way, you win no matter what happens. Or another one where you keep track of, just like you say, a fun gamified way of keeping track of good things and bad things, and you can stick them to your fridge. But I mean, whatever you do, a simple tick list, can help, just so that you are aware of there's so much good, and the other stuff doesn't outweigh
Celebrate the good bits. It's something that I do every day, actually. I write down at least 3 wins that I've had that day. And this isn't specifically to do with my dogs, it's just to do with everything, because this is one
and it doesn't matter, hey, because it really doesn't matter.
It just reminds you that there's so much, we're so much better and more amazing than we think we are.
Yeah. So Shawnee has a great tip. She said, breathe.
Breathe out your armpits.
And melt your armpits. Yep. I think we had a couple of posts in the email and also in our Facebook group about what we can do to help ourselves, didn't we? Not sure.
Probably.
Well, if not, then we have
Certainly.
to do some. Anyway, so and then LG says we both do better after days of decompress. Yes, me too.
Absolutely. I think everybody does, don't they? Yeah. And if you remember, Barbara, when we were sort of mid-festival, we didn't have any days off. Days off became a thing of the past.
Yeah.
And you go into this kind of very much into yourself sort of thing. And then when we're like, actually, we really need to take some time off now. And that's when all the good stuff started flying again, and it all started.
Yes, we all need to decompress. Absolutely.
Yeah, exactly.
And Shawnee shared a great thing here. I had to realize that my aggressive dog needed to stay relaxed in the environment that he's comfortable and not put him in the environment I would like him to be in. Yeah.
Could not agree more. Absolutely. And LJ, every tiny win is a huge win for us. Bodhi happily getting out the car, playing a game for 2 minutes, and I'll be back in the car before he gets stressed is a win for us. And for me, actually, that's a massive step for a lot of reactive dogs, just being able to do that. I think that's brilliant. That's brilliant.
Absolutely.
The reset challenge, Shawnee, if you go into the group and you click on the group in Facebook, if you're watching on, I don't know if anyone's watching on YouTube.
Yes.
You click on the Facebook group name, so you've got the whole page there. You go to the top where it's got files and events, and there's a tab there called guides. If you click on there, the whole thing's in there, and you can go through it from day 1 through to day 5. It's a 5-day reset thing.
Yeah,
it's really cool.
Excellent. I think
we can all go away and be confident now.
Yeah, but we have some questions.
We do have
We've got 20 minutes left, so maybe we should quickly answer some questions. So
great idea. And if anyone's got any questions in the chat, pop them in. We'll see if we can get to you as well. Okay. So first question is from Emma. Emma, I hope you're still here and listening. Any advice on getting my dog prepared for doggy daycare for a week in September? He's generally okay with other dogs now, but I don't want to put him into a position where he's overwhelmed and reverts back to his previous, more reactive behaviors. That is a brilliant question. Rather than just chucking him in there, you're considering actually how's it going to impact on him? What do you think, Barbara?
Well, if it's a week in September, it sounds like he's going in there for boarding, right? Not just, or is it really day? But either way, it sounds like something that, just for a limited time. So number one is I would go and check out the place. So if you've picked it, go and check out, speak to the people, see a bit how they're
it's just
handling the dogs.
So yeah,
it's just for the day, but it's just for a week.
Okay.
Yeah. So see how they're dealing with the dogs, what the setup is, what the dogs are doing during the daytime, and whether you are really happy. Right, when you're there, if you should be allowed to have a look. So make sure that you feel absolutely happy, that nothing that's going on there feels off for you. If it does, ask questions, follow your gut. That would be my first step. Next step, lots of confidence building for your dog at home.
Yep.
And maybe if you can afford it, I would. Oh, part of what happens at the daycare, some daycares have some crate time because the dogs need downtime, during the day. So is he used to that? Can he be crated? Can you bring your own crate? Can you have his own blanket? Things like that. So a little home away from everything a home from home sort of thing. And then I would start really short. So is it possible in preparation, so a little bit before the time, to maybe have him there for a couple hours
I agree.
a day, for a day, a week kind of a thing. So
Yeah,
he can ease in, so he's not just dropped into the cold
yeah,
water and left.
I agree. And I'd be, if you're still at the stage of looking for a daycare, I'd definitely be looking for one where it's really clear that the dogs are getting downtime.
Downtown. Mm.
Yeah, that's the most important thing. The other thing I think that I'd work on with a dog is practicing that bringing the arousal level down. So bit of tuggy, bit of play, bit of game, slow it down. Let's go and sit on a bed and maybe do a bit of tea touch or something like that. So just so they get that practice of going up here, coming back down again, going up here, coming back down again. So you could have play, 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 or do exciting behaviors like spins or leg weaves or something like that. Then few pieces of food on a hot zone or in a crate, see if they can really chill out and then go out and have a play again. So that's a quite nice, because you can control how much you're changing that arousal level down
Yeah.
by,
And
which is nice.
that's brilliant. I think that's really brilliant advice. And don't expect too much. You might not have a wild tug game and then the dog goes to sleep on the hot zone, but
You layer it again, don't you? So you do a little bit of a tug and then you'd kind of have a little bit of, maybe do something a little bit, a couple of quieter behaviors, and then you do it more and more.
yeah. And again, if you still looking for the right daycare, etc., I would ask them what happens. What if my dog gets into an argument with another dog? How do you handle that? What do you do when a dog growls at another dog? Just to get a feeling of,
Yeah,
you know,
exactly. And I'd also be having a look at, because in my experience, when you've got a dog that goes to daycare, what they need when they get home is so much calm and so much time to relax. So just think about as well what you can do to help him have a nice calm time.
Yeah.
So whether it's, lovely chews and long-lasting chews and topples and
yeah,
a bit of crate rest.
nice resetting in the evenings. Yes.
Yeah,
It's like kids coming home from a birthday party day after day after day after day, right? Too much sugar, too much sweet sodas, too many cupcakes.
Or it could be just Julia going to a party every day. Exactly the same impact.
I think I wouldn't go after day 2. Anyway, Helen wants to know this. I have a nearly 3-year-old Sheltie who hasn't had the best start in life due to being nearly attacked twice. Once attacked from an off-lead dog, which he ruptured his knee. Oh. He's fearful and reactive of people and dogs. We are now working with a vet behaviorist who has now prescribed him Reconcile and Nutripo herbal tablets. Anyway, we haven't noticed since going on Reconcile that his barking has gotten worse. I'm waiting to hear back from the vet behaviorist, who is extremely busy. I was wondering if anyone has any advice to help lessen his barking. We have 2 other dogs who don't bark as long once they've been told enough, which is my cue.
Okay. I was just looking up what Reconcile was.
Let's not even go there. We're not qualified, or
I'm just checking what it's fluoxetine. So just so you've got an idea of what it is.
Okay, yeah. We can't talk about the meds, but
No.
But we can talk about barking.
We can. And barking is, it is useful, I think, to know, why dogs bark. There's lots of reasons dogs bark. And actually, bearing in mind that it's a totally natural, normal behavior for a dog to do. It's just a bit frustrating and inconvenient for us. So is the dog barking because it's frustrated, because it wants to be doing stuff? Is it bored? Is it worried about things? So there's lots of different reasons. You could have a dog and you see them a lot where their barking comes from that kind of anxiety because they can hear voices outside or a dog outside. So they're like, ruff, 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 ruff. And once they've started, it's like they get this hyper focus. I can't stop now. That's it. Game over. So that can happen. Or you could get a dog that, you know, they want, the reason that they're barking is because actually I've heard that dog outside and I'm not there and that's not fair. Or it could be that you're there and you're not paying them enough attention, all that kind of stuff. So that's a good thing to kind of get your head around what the reason is. But we're never going to necessarily know 100% because, as Barbara always says, we don't know what they're thinking. You know, they could be thinking anything. So what do you do? For me, if I've got a dog that's doing a lot of barking, I'd be working an awful lot on calming stuff, lots and lots of calmness. And I would be doing the, you know, things like working on your chill zones, doing things like your sniffing, your licking and chewing activities. I'd be looking at upping enrichment type things like Cardboard Chaos would be ideal, actually. So just stuff to keep, you know, because sometimes, you know, keeping that dog's brain busy and giving the brain something to do can really help just to, you know, settle them down afterwards, you know, and deal with these issues. And it's also going to have the other great advantage of building the confidence so that then the anxiety will be getting less. What do you think, Barbara? Of course, sorry, just to remind myself, if there are triggers to it, you know, what can you do to reduce those triggers? What management can you put in place? That's, you know, massive.
So obviously there must be some, because Helen did lead into the question with, you know, the Sheltie not being very confident because of
absolutely
things. But yeah, I agree that there can be different causes for barking. Shelties are vocal.
They are. I was just thinking that they're super barking dogs. Yeah.
So that doesn't mean that they have to bark, but it is definitely a behavior that tends to kind of.
It's one that they tend to pick, isn't it?
That's very well put. Yeah, exactly. So so journaling is always a good idea. A little bit of every day write down when she barks. I'm trying, is it a he or a she? I can't. Him. When he barks, how long does he bark? What happened just before? So that you can get you know, is it really that long? Or you know, just get a clear idea, and then what triggers it. And then you can maybe prevent some of the triggers, as Julia said. That will help you a lot. Use management. And then also with multi-dog households, sometimes the dogs don't get enough rest. No, remember the buckets. If you go into the reset, if you haven't seen Julia do the bucket on the whiteboard, you've got to. It's not to be missed. But in any case, you know, to get our dogs to get enough rest and experience things from a more confident, more relaxed sort of emotional state is really important. And for that, they need a regular reset. And if you go into that challenge, you'll see great tips.
The other thing that's just come into my head is a really basic one, and that's just making sure those basic needs are met. Because it could be, you know, sometimes they're barking because they need to go to the toilet or whatever. But also, what are they eating? Nutrition.
Yeah.
Really have a look at that. You know, you don't want a dog that's on a diet that's, you know, really heavily processed and hasn't got lots of goodies in.
Yeah. So here are some of the, if you want to go hop into the festival, here are some of the talks that you would want to look at. The one with Linda Michaels about the dog's needs, the hierarchy of needs. We're not trying to imply that you're not looking after your dog properly.
That's not what it means.
Far from it. It just helps us to look at a framework and then think about, okay, I know what dog needs. Here's it listed. How can I maybe meet these needs in a different way for a change? And often that will create something else. Do a reset. You could have a look at Nikki French and
Yes.
stop walking your dog. Whether or not you walk your dog and want to stop that. But again, there are tips about, that it's not necessary to always do the same things that we think we need to do. That would be a good one. I had a third one I was thinking about.
Were you thinking Megan Barrett?
Absolutely, for the nutrition. Thank you. Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely. So have a look there. Just to see how everything that happens nutrition wise, tummy wise, actually affects the whole system, goes to the head, so to speak, and can affect our dog's behavior in a big way. So those will all help. It's like, we always want to look at what's going on for the dog. We want to exclude any health issues that are underlying, any pain issues that are underlying. There's a really nice post in the group by Laurie a couple of days ago about her young dog, that she's worked on his reactivity for a while, and now she's noticed there's something going on with the back leg. So she's, had him now looked at and x-rays booked and things like that. So it's just an example that we can never just assume that everything is fine. So if there's pain, right, that will go a long way. I mean, you're working with a vet behaviorist already. So they'll give you all that advice. And then journaling when the biking happens and what happens before, and maybe even a step before that, and then see if you can't use management to prevent some of those situations from happening in the first place. Management is like a miracle.
It really is.
There's so many things that we can just prevent. And again, if you want more info on that, in that research challenge we talk about, on the one day we talk about management a lot. That should all help.
Do you think we've got just a couple of minutes? Because Arlene's put a question.
I saw. Yeah, let's
see if we can get that done. So
Okay.
I'd like my dog to participate in the community, which as for now, it's been difficult. For him to be enrolled in classes that are with interaction with people and dogs, he must have a basic training completed. All of the ones I called use negative reinforcement. Oh, so depressing, isn't it? Oh, will my dog benefit from online classes? I know I need the tools to be able to work with him. I'm in the US. I think
that yes.
Yes, absolutely. If it's as long as it's good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Online classes can be brilliant, especially
if you're looking for basic, just basic training, I would highly, highly, highly recommend enrolling in Susan Garrett's Homeschool the Dog. It's absolutely affordable. It's game-based. It's positive. It's brilliant, and it works.
Absolutely.
So if you go there, that would be a brilliant starting point. And then you can take, that foundation you can take anywhere.
Absolutely. And if you want to do, say, some work more sort of focused on you and your dog specifically, keep your eyes peeled. We've got some stuff coming up that you may be interested in, if that more kind of one-to-one.
Yeah.
Or 2-to-1, because it's me and which side you're on? That side, Barbara. Might be kind of cool.
Can you write the name here? Can you put, if whenever I've been trying to reply, then it goes into a different panel and the sound goes on. Maybe you could reply and put.
Doing it in here. Susan Garrett, home school.
Yeah, Marion. We have some recallers and homeschoolers here in the group.
We do indeed.
Definitely. And yeah. And I coach in the classrooms too, so
yeah. Definitely a really good one.
Good.
Really cool. I was just reading what LJ said about some dogs just being pretty introverted and needing a little bit more me time, and I absolutely agree with that.
Mm.
Mm.
Yeah, different
Plenty of them.
personalities, just like with us.
Yeah, some
That's
are
why we
introverted.
perfect. Dogs and humans are just made for each other.
Especially people like us that I'll just hang out with my dogs, and the dog's like, I'll just hang out with my person. It's exactly the same, isn't it?
It's the best.
Yeah.
Great.
Cool.
Okay. That's it. That's been lovely. Thank you, guys.
Thank you. That was really lovely. I really enjoyed that one. Some brilliant comments, and it was really
Yeah.
nice
Nice to
getting
have you
everyone
also.
getting super involved. It was brilliant.
Oh, LG, you star. Yes, absolutely. How could I forget? Susan's got a free series going right now, the Connected Dog.
Yes.
So if you put in www Connected Dog, I think it is, then Doggyflix, that's what it is. www.doggyflix.com. Everything else.
Effect.
So then you get a flavor of the training, and it's free, and it's got nice foundation behaviors, and then from there you can go and either do homeschool or recallers. Yeah, totally. Thanks, LG. How could I forget that?
Or you could do walks without worry when we next.
Well, yeah, if you want a more leash walking focused stuff, if that's really what it's all about, then yeah, sure, walks without worry. Here we
Super.
go.
Nice
Okay.
work, people. We will
Yeah.
see you next week. Hopefully, we'll be planning a few specific topics in advance, which we can then tell you about, which would be really cool because we're loving doing these more topic-based things.
Yeah.
So we will see you.
LJ.
Yes. Where would we be without LJ?
I know. Okay, dokes, guys. Have a
See you
lovely rest
soon.
of your day, and see you next time.
Yeah, and tell us what you're up to in the group.
Yeah, share some stuff about how you're building your dog's confidence.
That would be
Just
amazing.
show us some of the things.
Videos, photos,
Great.
whatever.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Good. Bye for now.